Hi, I'm Craig Cameron, and on this edition of Ride Smart, got a special treat for you. Ty Murray, 9-time world champion cowboy, 7-time all-around. Hey, he and I are gonna take 2 colts, never been handled, never been worked. We're gonna take them all the way through. You're gonna get to watch 5 days in a row, and then the last day, we're gonna take them through the challenge trails here on the Double Horn Ranch. Hey, it's not gonna be just about colt starting, it's gonna be about horsemanship from beginning to winning, and that's all coming up next on Ride Smart.
And now back to Ride Smart with Craig Cameron.
The little horse I had was a horse that they just brought here. When we got the idea going, I'd already started all my horses, and I didn't really have a young horse, and so Daleen called around, and she, a place called the 2x4 Ranch in Springtown, Texas, had some nice little horses, and so she went over there and picked this horse out for me, and he's a little stud out of Little Bow Badger. Out of Peppy Sand Badger, which is all cow bred. On the bottom side, Boone Bar, which heck, you don't get any better than that. And all of those horses can be a little salty. Sometimes they got a lot of bottom, a lot of heart, and we like working the little stains sometimes because they're strong too. So calling this little stud I'm riding, and calling him Lux because we're working right on there on the Paluxy River, and Lux sounds pretty good in lots of ways, and so hopefully I'll have some good luck with him as well.
Well, this little horse I got, he's 3 years old and about 4 days now. He was given to me by the Steiner family out of Bastrop, Texas. They've raised horses and cattle for a long time, and I've had this horse now for about a year, but I've just had him kicked out on about 450-acre pasture with a couple other colts, and this seemed like a great opportunity to start this horse.
Well, we're down in the lower round pen. Windy day. Ty Murray's fixing to start with his colt, 3-year-old colt. Never been saddled or rode, really hadn't been handled that much, and we're just gonna turn it over to Ty and let him go to work, get this horse started.
This colt has been handled a little bit. He hasn't ever been saddled or led much or rode much, but he's been turned out by my parents' house in about a 400-acre pasture, and they've just petted on him and stuff, so he's gentle, but he doesn't know anything or have any really respect for a person. I like to spend a little time very first thing and just see if I can get him to lower his head. Just get him going off of some release of pressure where he starts to understand how our relationship's gonna be. I just look for just a little bit to start with there. Gotta start out just looking for just a tiny bit so that he'll start to understand how this is going to work. I think sometimes a guy can get too far ahead of himself, so I'll just hang in there. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. He doesn't know right now because this whole process is going to go along like this. Right now I want to go to see if I can start to move him around where he can start to have some understanding of all I'm looking for right now is for him to move his hind end away from me. I want him to eventually move that front end towards me as he moves that hind end away. You can see right now how both of them are just kind of going away. But I want him to learn that he can, all I'm trying to move is this hip right here, right there, and I'll soften right there to let him know that's what I was looking for. Now see if I can move this front end away from me, kind of the same deal. He's got to learn to have a respectful bubble between me and him that's not out of fear, but just out of understanding. Like right here, he has no idea. I want him to move this around, so I'm just gonna stay entered. When he gives me that little try right there, I'll quit. All I'm looking for is for that left foot to step away. He doesn't know that pushing on his head to the left means go to the left, so I just got, right there's a little bit of a try. It's gonna be harder with this fence right here, but I think he can get it. See how I soften off of him every time he makes just any little bit of progress that way, right there. If I can soften at the right time, here in a minute he'll just walk right around. I try to, you know, like putting his head down, he's in a new place and new horses around, and I see him getting real bored with that and real, you know, distracted, so I just changed to where I keep him kind of thinking about me. Right there, I kind of got to just stay in there because he hasn't. There we go.
There it's coming.
I got to stay in there. There. Now, there we go. Now I'd like to just go back and check and see if he remembers how to move this hip and move his front end to me. Notice that I try to keep my, I'm not pulling on him, and I try to keep some slack in that rein all the time to where it's not, where that halter really becomes secondary. I'm not pulling him around in a circle. He remembered both those sides really well. I want to get this where it all just moves around like an oiled hinge on a gate. I'd like to see if I could provide him some direction to come through this smaller area. If I have to, I'll pick my stick up to help him, and I'll put it down when he gives. See if I can move that hip over. We'll call that decent. We'll get this flowing a little better here in a minute, but at first I just want him to pick my stick up. He tries, I quit. Same deal. He softens, I soften. It's going to be the basis of our relationship. Pick my stick up. There. He gave, I quit. I'm going to help him with that halter there. We'll get that. Give that hip to me. I drop that halter to where it's not me just dragging him around by a halter. All I'm trying to do here is just give him a reason to not want to cross, and see if in a same kind of slow, relaxed, calm manner through communication, if I can ask him to step over this tarp. And I won't get in a rush here. You can see how he's kind of wanting to check some other avenues around it. So why should I go over it when I could just go around it? I was okay first try.
Yeah, you did good.
Try to get soft every time he makes some progress. Every time he's giving, I'm going to be real soft and make it real easy. Crossing that tarp's the easiest thing to do. It's all right, try. There.
It's almost like trailer loading right here. Just
yeah, that's where it'll come in handy later.
Yeah. The more he stands there, the safer he's going to feel about it. Boy, that was really soft.
I'd really like to just slow down here and really be aware that I'm not going to make this happen, but I'm going to set it up to where finally I let it happen, and his curiosity will kind of get the best of him, and let him figure it out on his own.
Well, he's ooking up there now.
I'll pick my stick up. That's okay. I'll even back him up a little bit right here. And I'll ask him up here again.
Oh, that head come down there. Now he's checking it out.
I gotta stay hooked right there. There we go. He tried these other options. He checked these other options there, and I just said no. I didn't make him do anything, but I just told him the option of going around it or coming over me was closed.
Oh, that's good.
Like right here, he's got to move. That's okay, but I got to stay hooked until he gives me a softer response.
Now, if that horse really spooked for you right now, would you just take that tarp away and kind of start over?
No,
or?
I'd stay. For me, I'd just stay entered, and you know, he's gentle enough that I can start with just a tarp in my hand. But I like to take it away when he softens. For me, it feels like the worst thing you can do is just take it away when they spook, because then they're training you instead of me training him.
Yeah, they're getting rewarded when they move off. Boy, I've got an interesting tack tip for you today. I got lots of letters on people asking me for gentle horses. Can they ride double? How the heck do you get up double? Let me show you two really simple ways, and they're pretty darn safe too. And I think that's really important. I got Colt right here. It's going to help me out. Colt, the first time, what I'm going to allow him to do is to use my stirrup. And what I got to do is get my weight to the offside, almost put some weight in my right stirrup as he steps up. So come on, step over here. He's going to use the stirrup. I've got my weight to the outside, and he just steps up nice and easy. Boy, and that's a really simple way to do it. Now, let me show you one other way. I'll have Colt get off right here, and this time what he's going to do, if I got a good athletic rider, or if I even got some momentum on my horse right here, I'll have him grab the saddle horn. Again, it's really important that I get my weight to the outside, and I just have my rider swing up like so. Boy, and that's a pretty efficient way, especially if you got a good rider. And when you get your rider up, a good place for him to hold on to is just like Colt's doing on that Cheyenne roll. Gives him a good, safe place to get a hold. Hey, that's your tack tip for today. Don't forget to keep thinking and riding smart.
And now back to Ride Smart with Craig Cameron.
And I got a little 2-year-old stud horse I've never seen before. Matter of fact, I don't know the first thing about him, except that he's pretty noisy. Typical stud and young horse, maybe moved away from the herd. But this is the first time I've seen this horse, and just like always, I'm going to try to work him where he's at, and just kind of start easy here and just try to figure out where this horse is good, where he's bad, and where he needs the help, and then just teach him what it is that I'd like to teach him. And so there's a lot of things going to be going on, and I'm going to try to continually, as much as I can, read this horse a little bit. So if I touch him here, I'm asking him always just to yield that hind quarter. So that part, you know, is pretty basic to most horsemen. And again, I'm not going to try to make him do anything. I'm going to kind of let him. And you can see this horse has quite a bit of energy here, right here. And so I'm going to try to utilize that energy as much as I can in a real positive way. So all the time, I'm just going to try to listen to this horse. And you can see he's pretty excited. And everything that I do on one side, I'm certainly going to try to do it on the other. So watch as I bring this horse. The last thing I want to do is pull on him. You know, I keep telling people, stop pulling on your horse, start guiding your horse. And that's the way I'm going to start with this little youngster right here. You know, it's been really windy. That's just a natural part of the things. You know, a lot of people will try to avoid a windy day, but shoot, I think these horses need to get used to that kind of stuff.
The main thing is just keeping their mind engaged where they're thinking about you and listening to you and following your lead instead of thinking about the wind.
Exactly. And when this horse pulls on me, wants to leave, I'm going to kind of just let him leave right here, but I'm going to just use that old adage of making the wrong thing work and ask this little horse just to go forward a little bit. So watch me just bring this horse kind of right back, and I'm using a good rope halter. I don't want to pull on him, I just want to kind of guide him. Watch, I'm going to come on in here. See, and as he comes, I'm going to slowly let him put pressure on himself and try to bring him right back. And then just start right back where I kind of, he felt like leaving a minute ago. Bear in mind that a horse, he drives from behind, he turns on his center, and he pulls with his front. So if I can get to controlling the hind end by bending this horse, then that's where I'm going to begin to get some control on this horse. A lot of times I'll come in here and start bending my horses, you know, pretty quick. And I'm not saying he's going to accept it or understand it, but boy, the more I can bend him here, because when I get on the horse, I mean, there's enough risk involved to begin with, but I'm going to try not to be just at the mercy of this horse as I go to work. And what will keep me from that is simply being able to bend this horse. So here, and watch, I don't pull on him, I just signal him or just bump him like this, just bump him around here. And all through this session, the more I do that, the better this horse is going to get. So as I do stuff like this, here, I'm not trying to trouble this horse, I'm trying to get him where he wouldn't be troubled. I always say the horse should be gentle all the way through, from the first whisker in his nose to the last hair in his tail, all the way through. Here, good. I like to work this other side. And see how those ropes do that? Man, I like it, because meantime, he's getting better all the way down to those feet. Here, see, that's not a bad deal, all that there. He's okay.
It's kind of nice, that long cotton rope, the way it's been all over his legs and his,
yeah,
you know, and all them different parts of him. It's kind of like you're killing two birds with one stone,
yeah.
And you're not even really trying to. You know, like where a lot of times I'll put a lariat rope on their feet and get them to where they'll give to it. You know, it's almost like that's another step in the process that you're just kind of eliminating and getting that done while you're doing something else.
You know, it's exactly right. You're reading that exactly right, and it's something, you know, I really advocate. And you know, every guy's got his own style, but you know, I found these old long ropes will help me, just like this here, and I'll just put this here because this is where that cinch is going to go on this horse. And again, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm just letting it touch him, just like I've been letting it touch him the whole darn time. So I got my rope here, and I could put a little pressure here. I could even put a little pressure there, and I could go back where that belly cinch was going to be and just kind of introduce it real slow to my horse. I go all the way back right into them flanks if I want to. I don't stand right next to the horse when I do that, and I keep telling people I have to tell them why, or they might be in their own business. So I want to just reach up there and touch my horse here, and then I'm going to work those back feet, which, just like Ty's saying, in a way, I've been doing it the whole time anyway. So here's where being able to move the hind end is going to help me again. Bending him to me, touching him on his feet, get my horse a little bit rope broke, just like that. Just get him really soft. Here. That's a boy. You're doing okay. And he's doing really good right now. And as long as he's going to move off there, I'm going to just bend him and let him come off his own feel. See how he's real heady? You know, he shakes things off. So watch, I'm not pulling, I'm holding. And let him find his own release. Right, right, right. There, boom. When I just turn it loose of that horse. So all on his own, he's going to learn how to get off the pressure. And that's the way I think you need to guide these horses and discipline them anyway. Hey, I didn't do it to you. You did it to yourself. And I think they learn from that, and I certainly think they respect it. So But in the beginning, he's gonna have to kind of maybe run into a little trouble or a little pressure as he figures it out. But the more I bend him, now watch, he might get confused now right here, because eventually I'm gonna go the other direction. So I wanna get this good here. That's real pretty there. The one thing you gotta have to train a horse is forward movement. I mean, they gotta go when you ask them to go. So while he's moving, here's that place where I wanna, again, control that direction here on my horse, here. But I like present the flag a lot of times while he's moving, because you know, he feels safer to me when he's moving. And I get in close and just touch that horse like that. Here, get in there and touch this horse like that. Here, and watch him now bend him back. Whoa, bring him back home. Here, yeah.
Craig Cameron Horsemanship clinics at the Double Horn Ranch are designed to fit each rider's individual needs. 5 different round pens, corrals, arenas, and the original extreme cowboy race course make great horses and riders.
I learned more in 3 days than I have the first 35 years I rode a horse.
It was like having a private lesson. Even though it was a group, it was like having a private lesson.
Yeah, you'll wear out the Wrangler in your jeans, I tell you.
Advance your horsemanship and come ride like a champion with me at the Double Horn Ranch.